Welcome to Inside Roanoke. I'm Melinda Mayo, the Communications and Media Officer for the City of Roanoke. Today we're here in Holton Plaza, our newest plaza in the city, to talk about why we built it and the ceremony that we had for it. We're also going to be talking about leaf collection and a lot more, so stay with us.
What's up, punk? Send those books home for. They ain't gonna help you on the streets.
To study?
Yeah, man, you need to join our crew, aka the Cobra.
Yeah, ain't nobody messing with the Cobra.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to go to college.
Nah, man. I mean, we're just having some fun. Nobody in our gang gets caught anyway.
Well, I guess sure.
All right. Hey, look, Henry. If you're gonna keep rolling with us, you gotta prove to me that you can hang.
Okay.
All right, then. Go.
Henry, what are you doing?
Every year, over 7,000 arrests result from gang activity. You could end up just like these criminals. Is that what you want?
Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution.
Welcome back. My guest is Bob Clement. Bob is the Neighborhood Services Coordinator for the city.
Nice to
and
be
Bob,
here.
we're here to talk about the Neighborhood Awards Dinner.
Yep.
Start by telling us when and where does that happen?
It's held every year at about this time. This year it's going to be held at the Jefferson Center, Fitzpatrick Hall, starting at 6 p.m. It should be a great event.
And what's the date for it?
November 10th,
Okay.
Friday, November 10th at 6.
Why do we have this event, Bob?
You know, Melinda, the city is truly a city of neighborhoods, and within those neighborhoods are neighborhood groups comprised of volunteers who work tirelessly to make their neighborhoods crime-free and blight-free, and this is an opportunity to recognize those folks and to award them for their efforts.
So what kind of awards, what recognitions are given?
Well, the way it works is award nominations are received throughout the year. They're compiled. The Roanoke Neighborhood Advocates, which is a council-appointed committee, they review the nominations and decide which nominations receive which awards. There's 8 different categories, everything from neighborhood leadership to the unsung hero to the best project of the year, the city neighborhood relationship award, the community neighborhood relationship award, covering all gamuts of neighborhoods, just to make certain that those folks who do work hard in making our neighborhoods the great places they are to live, work, play, and invest are recognized and honored.
That's great. What else happens at the event? Just give us a little taste of it.
Well, the awards are actually presented by city council members themselves.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're the coolest awards. They're about 12 inches tall. They're little trophies. They're in the shape of a mountain with a star on it and etched with the award category in which they're winning for. And this year, our new city manager, Bob Cowell, will also be there to be our guest speaker. So it should be a great evening.
That is so great. How long have we been doing this?
You know, we've been doing, the neighborhoods have gotten together every year at about this time for a potluck supper. And 5 years ago, we added the awards component. So this will actually be our 5th annual award celebration event this year.
And can anybody come? How
Absolutely.
does that work?
Anyone can attend. It's open to everybody. The only thing we ask is that folks register to make certain that we have enough tables and chairs set up for everyone desiring to attend. The last thing we want is to have a venue that holds 200, 250 people and have 1,000 people show up.
Right.
So we do try to keep a tab on who's coming so that we can plan accordingly for it.
Okay.
And they can register very easily online at roanokeva.gov/neighborhood awards, all one word, or they can just call me at the office at 853-5210.
Bob, how do you think this event strengthens our neighborhoods? What value does it give?
You know, I think most importantly, it brings people together as one community. Even though we are a city of neighborhoods and each neighborhood is different, they're all also very similar. And this is the only venue that takes place during the year that brings all neighborhood people together under one roof to share a great dinner. It is a potluck dinner, so folks bring a dish, their favorite recipe to share. And so I tell people it's kind of like a family reunion, but without the family issues. So it's just a great venue. The food is wonderful. It's a good time, and I hope folks will register and attend.
Remind us again how they register.
Register online very easily at roanokeva.gov/neighborhood awards, or they can actually call me at the office at 853-5210 and just let me know they want to attend and what dish they want to bring to share, and we'll make it happen.
Great. Well, I hope it's a big success.
Thank you very much.
Bob.
I'm sure it will be.
Okay.
Thanks, Melinda.
We'll be right back.
Keeping Roanoke streets clean and attractive takes a lot of work. The city welcomes your help. Community organizations, businesses, and individuals can volunteer through the Adopt a Street program to adopt a specific street in the city. Participants agree to clean up their location 4 times a year for 2 years. To find out more, contact the City of Roanoke's Transportation Division at 853-5837 or the Municipal Volunteer Coordinator at 853-1801 or send an email to mvp@roanokeva.gov.
Lead poisoning is a preventable environmental disease which affects an estimated 1 million children in the United States. Lead is most harmful to children 6 years old or younger because they often put their hands and other objects in their mouth which may have lead dust on them. Growing bodies absorb more lead, and children's brains and nervous systems are more sensitive to the damaging effects of lead. Lead Safe Roanoke is a program to enrich and protect the families in the city of Roanoke by helping its citizens eliminate lead-based paint hazards from their homes. Get more information at roanokeva.gov/leadsafe.
Welcome back. My guest is Nell Boyle, and Nell is the Sustainability Outreach Coordinator for the City of Roanoke. Nell, we're here to talk about an award the city just got recently, the SolSmart Award. Tell us what that is.
So SolSmart is a Department of Energy program that they put out there to make sure that they could standardize the process for solar, helping maybe to drive down those costs and make it easier for residents to get solar and to access it and to understand what they needed to do. So what this says is by having this bronze designation that we're a solar-friendly community. It's easy to get solar. We've sort of lined it all up so it's sort of a one-stop shop.
And why were we recognized? I mean, there's something specific we're doing, right?
Yes, there is. So what they do is they go in and they review all of our processes for best practices. And you know, Melinda, I think when you start with something new like solar in a community, it's kind of, you can run into some things that you hadn't anticipated, that, you know, you might have a zoning issue that didn't sound like it would, you know, interfere with solar, but maybe it does. So we passed that review. They gave us some recommendations. We made those changes. So we sort of worked into a really nice one-stop shop. You know, click on the website, it takes you right in. You just, it's a very simple process.
Do any other cities in Virginia have this designation?
So Richmond got their bronze designation just a couple of months before us. But there are just about 100 cities across the country right now, so we're an early adopter.
That's good. Well, can you share just a little bit about some of the criteria for the award? You know, what are some of the specific initiatives the city did in order to qualify?
Sure. So you remember back in 2008, we launched the solar tax abatement. And when we did that, we sort of looked at a lot of our permitting and zoning and our processes, and we said, you know, let's clean this up for solar. So like I said, the SolSmart team goes in and then they review that. But what they said to us was they came back with some little tweaks that we could do. Maybe this would be helpful if you changed this. And how about let's collect that on the website so that it's in one place that you can easily access that. So we made some of those changes and changed some of the communication issues that we were doing, you know, to make it easier for the community. So basically, we've done a pretty good job up until now, but we also made it a little bit easier to access.
Got it. Okay. For people who are watching and maybe they're not very familiar with solar energy, how does the use of solar energy help reduce like greenhouse gas and carbon emissions? Talk about that a little bit.
So greenhouse gas emissions come from when we burn things. And so when you're burning to make your fuel, there is a price that we pay for that in carbon emissions. So what happens with solar is they call it clean energy because we don't have to burn any fuel to get that to happen. And the really cool thing is there's a double win with solar because very often we have to bring our energy in from outside of the Roanoke Valley. And there's an energy cost to bringing that into your community. So you really are paying for almost twice as much as you might see as a, as a consumer. So when you generate it locally, then you get the benefit of also not having to put those emissions into the air to bring that energy in.
Okay. Well, other than the obvious and some of the things you've been talking about, what do you think, what other things are, is it a benefit to Roanoke to have this designation? Why is it? beneficial?
Well, it's going to be a lot easier for people just to get online and see what they need to do. I learned a lot by doing the process, sure, you know, and some of the things weren't intuitive, so it's much easier for somebody to access. We are a solar-friendly community. Even for historic districts, there's opportunities for solar, so that's pretty exciting. But we're a bronze designation, so we also can get silver and gold, so it gives us a clear path to some more best practices, and you know, watch for those, because I think we'll be able to move up that scale a little bit.
Anything else you'd like folks to know about solar and the
price of solar has come down significantly in the last 10 years, and although there's still an investment that needs to be made, when you put the federal tax credit, which is 30%, then our, you know, property tax abatement that you can take advantage of. There's some really great tools out there, financial incentives, that allow you to take advantage of solar today. So the price on the materials are coming down, the price on the installations coming down. We've done some things to make your process a little bit easier. So it's so much more accessible than it was just a few years ago.
If somebody wanted more information, how can they get that?
They can contact me, Nell Boyle, at the City of Roanoke, 853-5430, or nell.boyle, roanokeva.gov, or you can go to our website, and if you type in renewable energy, that'll take you to the page that talks about SolSmart and gives you the links to get around.
Well, it's very exciting. We're very proud of the city for getting that, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Are you a part of the leaf solution or the leaf pollution? When you rake or blow leaves into the street, drainage ditch, or curb and gutter system, you're clogging the drainage structures, which causes an increase of street flooding. Try mulch mowing instead. A standard rotary or mulch mower will chop the leaves directly back into the turf. Composting your leaves is a great way to add nutrients to your gardens and flower beds. Or check with your locality about bag leaf pickup. Remember, only rain down the storm drain.
Welcome back. My guest is Jeffrey Powell. Jeffrey is the solid waste manager for the City of Roanoke. Jeffrey, we want to tell our viewers about leaf collection. Start by telling us when the dates are this year for leaf collection.
Well, this year we start off on Monday, November 13th, and that week, and then we run again on the 27th of November, and then we pick up the 4th and 11th of December.
Okay, and tell us how many bags can be collected, you know, and where they put the bags and all that.
Well, we want the bags at the point of collection, the same place where the Hawaiian blues are and the dark blues. We want you in a paper bag that can be degradable, so when we take it off, it can be degraded and goes into
and as many as they want, or is there a limit?
Want. Okay. All you can rake and put in a bag.
And will we still be doing bulk and brush collection on those weeks?
On your normal scheduled day. So, and if your collection is Monday, put your leaves out on Monday, put your brush out on Monday. If you're a week, you're going to put out your Hawaiian blue on that Monday.
Okay. Now, another question. Some people rake their leaves, their loose leaves, to the curb. What happens if loose leaves are left at the resident's curb?
Well, if it's a contractor, we won't pick those up. We won't pick up loose leaves, period.
Okay.
So you need to get a contractor to come out. Either they need to bag them or they need to take them away for you.
Right.
Or have them for composting. Another thing would be to set up your own composting file with area within your yard and make it composted.
Is there a penalty for leaving the leaves at the curb? What about that?
Yes. If you do, and if you leave the leaves, then you're subject to a violation. So you would be open to receive a violation from the code enforcement team.
Jeffrey, how are citizens going to find out if they want to see the collection schedule? Are we sending that out to them, or?
Yes, they receive a postcard for leaves, but also go to Roanoke, Virginia.gov and take a look at the website.
Okay. And is there going to be a leaf collection this spring? Last year we tried that. How are we going to do that?
This year we've eliminated that. We want to consolidate to get it done in the spring of the year. We found that more beneficial. The number of tons and visits were not equal to the cost. So we want to make sure we're most effective and efficient. So we're going to go to the 4-week period.
Okay. And earlier you mentioned an option for leaf collection. One thing is composting. What are some other things people can do?
Well, one thing you do is mow them. Just mow your leaves as you do your grass and let the leaves go into the yard. And that will allow for nitrogen, healthier yards and that type. I know it's a little more work and a little more time consuming, But you really could do that as they accumulate, you just mow them and they'll go into the
or they can do a compost pile or something like that.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah,
okay.
That's kind of the new wave. But now grass clippers and those types of things are actually what people want you to do in the industry.
And I know there's some information on the city's website about composting and mulch mowing and that kind of thing.
Yes, that's kind of the new wave.
Okay.
But we like to do that.
Jeffrey, is there anything else folks need to know about leaf collection that we haven't mentioned?
Well, just if they have a question, they have a concern, just please call the office on 853-2000 option 1 or go to the website and we'll be glad to answer those questions and get them up to speed. And we also want to remind folks that the household waste for November and December, the 3rd week, so it's the 18th and the 16th, we'd like them to participate in that. Okay. And if you have bulk, put those items out in front because we don't do rear collections.
Right.
And I think we'll have a great holiday.
Great. Well, it is that time of year with leaves falling, and we appreciate you sharing all that information with us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Want to learn how to manage your money better, save for that car or dream home, or be able to bounce back from bad credit mistakes? Bank On Roanoke Valley can help. Bank On works with local banks, credit unions, and local governments to offer free classes at local libraries in our community. It's easy, free, and it's happening right where you live. Check out the calendar of classes or sign up at bankonrv.org or call 777-4200 for more information.
Welcome back. My guest is Jeremy Holmes. Jeremy is the Director of Ride Solutions. And Jeremy, we want you to give us an update on the Bikeshare program. Talk about when it launched.
So we launched this May. May 24th was our on-the-ground date to get the first system out.
And has it been very successful?
It's been, it's blown up. We've been very, very excited about it. We've got almost 1,800 members and 5,000 trips in just 4 months. We're very, very excited how well it's gone.
So talk about the locations, and I think you've added some new ones, right?
Yes.
Talk about that.
We started with 9 locations. A lot of them you've probably seen in downtown, Grandin Village, Wasena, and West End. At the beginning of October, we launched with 3 new stations, one of which is right here at the Riverside Crowley Clinic complex. We also launched in the Crystal Spring neighborhood in South Roanoke and at Soaring Ridge Craft Brewers just on the outside of downtown.
Well, now, if somebody who's watching doesn't know much about the program, explain how it works.
So it's really easy to access the bikes. It's basically a short-term rental. Okay. You access the bikes through a telephone app on your smartphone, or you can create an account online and access the bikes by text message. So you simply download the app, you go up to a bike, you say, I want to check this bike out, and you go for a ride. And you can check it out from any station in the system and return a bike to any other station in the system.
And there's a cost involved?
There is. There's either a $3 an hour hourly rental, or you become an annual member for $40.
Okay.
And that means every trip you take, the first hour of that trip is free. So as long as you get it from one station to another in an hour, it's a free ride.
And does the app also help you pay for the...
Yes, everything is done through the app in terms of renting the bikes, tracking your trips, locking and unlocking the bikes. It's all done through the app.
Do you have sponsors for this program?
Yes, we're very lucky that the program is paid for almost entirely by local sponsors. So a lot of local companies, anyone from Crowley Clinic to, like with our expansion, Hometown Bank and Soaring Ridge, we're both sponsors for those stations. So we rely on and really appreciate all the partners in Roanoke who have helped make this happen.
Do you think this is something that is going to help Roanoke? I mean, what's the benefit of having it?
So one of the exciting things about it is this really encourages more bike transportation. So, putting them in places like this where you've got access to the medical school, to Starbucks across the street. You can ride your bike from your apartment downtown or from your house in Grandin to the Greenway and go shopping or go get coffee or go to work. And that's really what we're hoping to encourage, is to make it really easy to get places on a bike with a bike that you don't have to maintain. Someone else is taking care of it, and it's always there when you need it.
Anything else you'd like to say about the program that we haven't covered?
Well, we encourage folks, you can go to zagster.com Ride Solutions to see all the station locations, to create an account, to see who sponsors the bikes, and you can download the app. It's called Zagster app. on your Android or iOS device.
And that's where they get the information about it. Is there any other contact info you want to give?
If you want to learn more about what we do in general, you can visit ridesolutions.org and see more of our bike programming and other transportation services.
This is a really cool program. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll be right back.
It is important for both restaurants and homeowners to help keep our waterways clean and safe. Never pour cooking oil or grease into sinks, parking lots, or streets. The oil and grease can enter our waterways through storm drains. Always try to recycle the oil and grease or put it into the trash. If you have a spill, clean it up by using a drying agent like cat litter. Never hose down spills. Keep dumpster and trash can lids closed. Restaurants should clean floor mats and garbage cans in a mop sink. It's easy to keep our waterways clean by doing the right thing.
Welcome back. My guests are Councilman Bill Bestfitch and also Matt Gart with Roanoke Parks and Recreation. And we're here today to talk about the Holton Plaza. Let's start out by talking about, some of our viewers may not know who Mr. Holton was and what he did. Bill, share a little of that with us.
Linwood Holton came to Roanoke in 1949 after he graduated from Harvard Law School to practice law, and he was in practice of law here for about 20 years. He met his wife, Virginia Jinks Holton, here. They had 4 children together. And in 1969, he ran for governor. He had actually run for governor before, and he ran for the House of Delegates a couple times, lost 3 elections, but in 69 he won, and he served as the governor from January of 1970 to January of 74.
And what are some of the contributions that he's known for? Talk about that a little.
Well, one of the greatest things that he did, I think, was to put an end to what was called massive resistance to the integration of public schools and really society in general. He took his daughter, Taylo, to a previously all-black high school, and a picture of him escorting her, holding her by the hand, appeared on the front page of the New York Times. And we actually have a reproduction of it here on this pedestal behind us. But he involved more African Americans and women in high positions in state government than any previous governor. He really started the environmental movement in Virginia. He supported mental health initiatives that had not been going on in the past. So he really accomplished a lot as governor in just a 4-year term.
And how did we come up with the idea to create the plaza?
Well, you know, he wrote a memoir called Opportunity Time. It came out in 2008, and after I read it, I thought, isn't it kind of odd that Roanoke has really never done anything to recognize somebody who was here for 20 years practicing law before he got elected as governor. And so I thought this plaza would be a good place to recognize him, and then Matt came up with just some terrific ideas about how we could use a pedestal to include information about his early life, growing up in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, all the way up through his service in World War II in the Navy and his graduation from Harvard Law School. Then on the second side is about his time here in Roanoke. Then there's a side that shows some of the things he accomplished as governor, and then the fourth side is what he did, continued to be very active life after he left the governor's mansion.
Well, and Matt, you were involved in the design. Tell us some details about the plaza.
Well, kind of the first thing we did was look at the traffic patterns around where people are likely to pass through, what's going on around the site, and to get a feel for how people may use the site. We found out that people have the need along the edges potentially for food trucks and things like that during festivals. So we tried to integrate spaces for those into the design, and then it was just a matter of making places for people that people really would enjoy to be. So you look at, some people like to be on the edges near the activity, near the sidewalks. Some people like to be back, kind of out of the way, quiet. So we tried to design something that integrated the pathways through. There's kind of a corner here, and then also have places for people who wanted to observe activity on the street, people who want quiet places, and then looked at a bunch of options and how to do that while creating some opportunities for shade. This site in the summer will get fairly warm. Right now, in a cooler day, even at 50 degrees with the sunshine aspect, it's very pleasant. So I think it's going to get a lot of use year-round. So going beyond that to look at maybe the detailing, we wanted to really kind of integrate it with Elmwood, with brick and precasts, and So we started looking at Elmwood, kind of detailed cues there. The panel in the pavement there at Elmwood, we wanted something similar here. And then, as Bill mentioned in the book, some of the things that you read about the governor, you read his inaugural address, and some of the really remarkable things that were said, groundbreaking, really fascinating things. The Plaza kind of needed to tell that story.
That's what these are about behind us, right? Yeah.
So we thought, there's some great chapters in his life, and it works out really well with kind of 4 chapters, pre-governor, governor, life in Roanoke, and post-governor. So we can use a pedestal to tell those 4 chapters, and then we can look at the seat walls, which are on the edges, to have quotes, the really remarkable quotes from his inaugural address and from the book, to really, again, continue to tell the story of the governor. So I think it worked out exceptionally well. Really pleased with it. We have some interesting details along the edges with the tree plantings. Planters are designed to kind of capture a little bit of storm water. These are actually bald cypress, which kind of remarkably, to most people, that's a very good urban tree. So, and we have a center island here, which will have some uplights as these crepe myrtles mature. It'll be very kind of stunning at night in the evening.
Talk a little bit about the timeline and the cost of the project.
I believe we started looking at some design sketches in the summer of last year, started fleshing out some details. We decided on a design, I believe, in around the fall, early mid-fall, and we had a budget in the $300,000 range. The actual cost came in at $275 total for everything.
Well, and Bill, I was going to ask you, tell us about, we had a ceremony that involved the family and all that. Talk about what we did to kind of push this off.
Governor and Mrs. Holton and their family, including their daughter Ann Holton, who is married to Senator Tim Kaine, and many other relatives and close friends from here in Roanoke, came on October 16, and we had a dedication ceremony. And I had the honor of being able to present Governor Holton with a plaque that had a key to the city. I think all the doors are already open to Leonard Holton at this point, but now he's got a key to the city to prove it.
And why do you think it's so important for our citizens to know about his legacy?
Well, as I said, he really changed the course of politics in Virginia. You know, in addition to putting an end to massive resistance, he was really responsible for the recreation, I guess you could say, of a two-party system in Virginia. Prior to that, for decades, there'd basically been one-party rule with the Byrd machine. And part of the reason that he came to Roanoke in 1949, he chose Roanoke because he thought there was maybe not quite as much of some of the old plantation mentality and the old traditional Virginia values, and that he would be more successful here in Roanoke getting elected as a Republican.
And people need to know that, yeah. Well, hopefully this is going to help with that. And if somebody had a question about this plaza, how could they get more information?
Well, they can call Parks and Rec Department, or they could call the city clerk's office or the mayor's office, and we would be happy to help them with any additional information that they might want to know.
Well, it's a beautiful plaza, and thank you so much for joining me today to tell us about it.
Thank you. Sure.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
If you would like to adopt a pet, did you know that you can also go to the RCACP website and their Facebook page to look at pets for adoption? It's easy to do. Simply go to their website at rcacp.org or visit their Facebook page. Both sites include information and pictures of animals waiting to be adopted. Help make a difference in the life of a pet today. Adopt from the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection.
A lot of times, especially if they're injecting, they'll have track marks, they'll have needle marks on their arms. A lot of them will have extreme weight loss. They have an inability to focus on a task or schoolwork and complete things like they normally might have been able to do before. Those are some of the big things. They like to sleep a lot and just mainly be alone, and they're kind of acting different than they were prior to starting the use of heroin.
We hope you've enjoyed this month's show, and we'll see you next time on Inside Roanoke.